test for audio and then for purposes of picture, brightness. You have to talk.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, you just talk. It's on, so I don't know what we're talking about. It's on. Oh, no. Okay. No, thank you. You understand? Move out the way, man.
That's making it cut.
And I was just trying to hurry up because we're already on record. And he's just waiting on you.
Welcome. Okay, you do the welcome.
No.
Okay, so welcome to the second episode of the Whittakers. I'm Barbara Whittaker.
Give me Whittaker. I'm not sure how you can hear us, but we have boats and things going by us.
We're in the beautiful country of Italy, specifically in Venice right now. Didn't do our gondola ride yet, but did a lot of walking yesterday.
We might not, though.
You know what?
We might not. I don't know if it falls within the budget. It's 110 euros.
So anyways, this episode, we're going to hop into how we do our quarterly financials. Both you and I, as a family, we check our financials quarterly. So I usually explain it like we operate like a business, and you know how businesses review their financials to kind of check and see if they're on task, or what their goals or forecasts were for that particular quarter or year. One of the things that I noticed that a lot of times people don't really know where they are because they don't look at the information. And looking at the information reveals a whole lot. So what do you find in like the financial industry? Once the luggage goes by, so people can hear us.
Well, I mean, yeah, people don't know what they don't know, but they also don't check and monitor and manage what they have. So it's just kind of like out of sight, out of mind. People do have budgets occasionally, but those budgets are not well maintained and not kept up in the reconciliation and upkeep of it is just mismanaged. And so things go by the wayside. They don't update it. So if or they choose to update what's fun for them or what they like to look at. They don't update the other things, so the whole thing's thrown off. So it doesn't make it better. The whole thing's incorrect. It doesn't matter. It's all incorrect.
So one thing that Huey and I started on our journey several years back in 2018, we started laying out our P&L, our profit and loss statement. So we would outline on one page all of our income and all of our monthly expenses, and then on another page we would outline all of our assets and all of our liabilities so we could track our net worth. At that time, we didn't have much net worth, right? We did own a property or two at that time, but I think that's one of the reasons people avoid because they feel like, I don't have anything. But it's very hard to get more when you don't know what you're starting with. It's kind of like when you go to the grocery store and you don't check what you have in your pantry, and then you buy a whole bunch of new stuff that you didn't eat in the first place. You get home, you're like, oh, I already had a whole new bottle of this, or I had a whole new bottle of that. So making it plain, putting it, in this format really helped us to have a clear picture of where we were and, what we wanted to do next. And then annually we would set goals on like, okay, this year we need to save X amount of dollars, or we need to increase our cash flow on a monthly basis by X, or whatever, we want to obtain another property. So when we're looking at those things, it really makes us aware of what we need to avoid or do more of when we check it on a quarterly basis.
And I mean, I want to add like a couple of things. One is strategy. You got to have strategy. So we don't just look at our numbers, but we're aligning our numbers with our strategy, whether it's a cash flow strategy, whether it's an accumulation strategy, whether it's a liability pay down strategy. Just depends on what that strategy is. And then the other thing is, you also have to understand that there are seasons in your financial kind of structure where you might have to have a little bit more debt. You might have to be, more leverage. You might have to be cash rich or positioning yourself for acquisition. Right. So there's seasons, right? I think some people generally look at it as, oh, I gotta be debt free, or I gotta, have this, or I gotta, whatever it is. And if that's your strategy, just make sure you understand that's a strategy. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to get to that. And for us, our strategy just continually changes because the market changes, so we have to make adjustments and such.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal for us.
Yeah, in the beginning when we started in 2018, the big thing for us was we had to get rid of some debt. We had credit cards, we had loans, and so we were tracking everything, but looking at our debt and trying to reduce our debt so that we can get to a point where we could accumulate and save more and then acquire more. So that's kind of how we started. And then we would see, okay, we have a credit card with X amount of dollars that we owe on it. We want to get this paid down to zero by the end of the year, and that was just the focus. This credit card has the highest interest out of all of the credit that we have. We're going to focus on this one first, put all of our extra discretionary income into paying that off and getting rid of that debt. So over time, we would track our net worth and see how it would increase or change. Some quarters, our debt would increase, so our net worth would go down. But the overarching theme over the past several years has been that we've increased our net worth because we have this process of checking our financials. So we wanted to come out, one of the main goals of the page is to kind of talk about what we did, the practical things that we did. This is a very practical thing, very easy to do. Start with an Excel spreadsheet, set one tab as to show your income, and then on that same page to show all of your monthly expenses, and that'll make you aware of what you're spending on a monthly basis. And the budgeting is important in that as well. And if you're ended up not being able to pay your bills on a monthly basis, this also helps to figure out where you can kind of maneuver things in the interim until you have enough income to kind of have discretionary income. And then on that next page, you're just going to have, we start with our vehicles, and then we start with our properties, and then we go down as far as the assets column is concerned. The value of our vehicles, the value of our properties, any cash accounts, stock accounts, cash value, life insurance accounts,
Everything.
Anything that has a financial value to it, and then in the other column,
and employer-based benefits, all of it.
yes, yeah.
And you should be taking advantage of this. Those are soft assets that you should be monitoring. I mean, HSA. What's your HSA doing? Are you maxing out what that's pre-tax dollars you can reduce off of your taxable income every year? I mean, and you don't necessarily need to use that anytime soon. If you're making decent money or you're making enough money to pay your bills and medical expenses, things like that, why use the pre-tax dollars? Just keep saving that. Throw that in the investment. Use the actual after-tax dollars and save that pre-tax dollars to continue to accumulate that. So there's a lot of different things you can do, soft things you can do for your employer even, that can help benefit you long term. But again, little by little, it doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah. So that's the assets column. And a liability column, you want to put all of your debt that you owe. Any debt that you owe on the cars, on credit cards, on real estate, any loans that you owe anybody, anything that you owe, you want to put that there. And then for the ones that are loans, you want to make sure you put your interest rate as in like a side note, right? Because it's really important for you to see those high interest, credit cards or debt that you have, so you can focus on those first. It makes more sense to kind of rearrange. One of the strategies that Huey and I had is as we were getting our credit, good and got to a certain place, is that we would use those 0% interest to take care of those high interest credit cards that we have. So we would apply for a new credit card and get a 0% interest rate for like a 12 or 18 month period, whatever the offer was for that particular card, and we would transfer the debt from a high interest credit card to that new credit card. That would go away, and now we have a 0% interest that we can pay over that next 12 to 18 months at 0% interest and get rid of that debt while we work on other debt that has a high interest. And we did that for several years while we were trying to reduce our debt. So like Huey said, there's some good debt, there's some bad debt, credit card debt with high interest rates, and it's not doing anything for you. You need to get rid of it unless you know how to use it properly. You want to tell them about the conversation we had with Janae the other day? You
can, but that's credit card balance transfers don't work unless you're disciplined though.
Very good.
So I mean, you're not going to pay it off within the 12 months or 18 months or whatever it is that's interest free.
Yeah.
And you only get one charge to transfer it, like 3%. And by the way, you can negotiate that with the bank. We've gotten that done for nothing. 0% balance transfer.
Yeah,
right?
because they're banking on you not paying it off in that time.
Yeah, that's it. And it's a gamble, and they want to take that chance, especially they want you to get that newer, higher interest rate after that term. But again, it doesn't work unless you're disciplined. But
that's a good point. No, Huey was just telling our oldest daughter the other day how many points we have on one of our cards and how we use it. Credit cards, certain credit cards that have the offers can be very advantageous. So one of the thoughts and one of the strategies that we have is you're going to buy groceries, you're going to buy gas, you're going to pay your bills. You have to do that on a monthly basis anyways. If you know how to be disciplined and use your card and pay it off, that's going to be very helpful to you because you get cashback offers, you get points that you can then use for other things to kind of offset expenses in the future. So like this particular card that we use right now, we have currently 400,000 or so points on it. For normal expenses that we would have, we pay that bill on a monthly basis, of course, and then we have racked up these points, and these points give us, equate equate to like another $2,000 or $2,500, whatever it is. That's cash back in our pocket for stuff that we were going to pay for anyways. So, you know, just strategizing those little financial opportunities can really, you know, just be a little bit more in the bucket.
Yeah, I was looking at a pigeon. You know, the Venetian pigeons are pretty bold, and I think that's probably the case with a lot of animals, like at the beach and stuff in the United States too. But I'm over here, the seagulls are pretty bold too. I mean, the pigeons just walking right by our feet. I literally like touched my leg yesterday, and I was looking at one. But I also think about the pigeon, like how bold they are. Like it didn't always start like that. I mean, they had an opportunity, you know, as a I won't say as a people, but as a species. But like all of them are bold now. They're all around people. They continue to get close and come up to the people. And as the people continue to feed them, they just continue to do it. And I think like when you have an opportunity financially, once you take advantage of one, it's up to you now to continue to be bold and continue to strategize, move, and take advantage of the opportunities you have in order to improve your situation. Once these pigeons stop coming close, that limits the amount of food and treats and things that they're going to get from people. Because people think, you know, when they come up, they're automatically going to give them, right? When they, you know, they see them, it's like they're automatically getting that. And with financial opportunities, you know, once you open up that opportunity or the thought and the chance for it, it continues to come your way. It's like momentum. If you don't have any momentum, it's harder to get started. But once you have momentum, it's a lot easier to roll down.
Yeah, so that's the series for today. Any wrap-up comments?
I mean, I don't have any wrap-up comments other than I don't know where we're going after this, but I did want to show you the gondolas over here, and I'll probably just take a separate snippet, and we'll put that and broadcast that on the. Just make sure you continue to track us.
It's really practical, something you can start doing immediately, and if you look at it over time, we guarantee that you'll see progress if you're taking the right steps and making the right moves. Okay. Thanks for joining, guys.
All right, pigeons.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and maybe more to come from Italy.
See you later, seagulls.